Thank you for joining me today. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of a well thought out employee handbook. Now, an employee handbook is a very useful tool when you're running a place of business that gives the staff or gives the employee a baseline, a kind of a guideline on how you would like your business to be operated. It also informs the staff as far as, what they should expect from the company. I try to start with 7 key kind of categories to start off with. I always start with an introduction to the company. This is really going to tell them, the company philosophy. Then you want to have information about the business, its histories, its founders, its management team. Those are going to be your second category there. Then you want to go into house rules and employment policies. This can be everything from employment terms, contract, or many times in restaurants, especially here in New York City, it's hire by will. Equal opportunity employment information, sexual harassment policies, all those can fall under those house rules and employment policies. Section I call the way we work. You'll have a section of kind of an orientation really to the business. Talk about what this employee can expect for their 3-month probation period and through the entirety of their employment with the company. The paydays, the uniform policy, safety, performance review, advancement, anything along those lines. Following section, I like to mention security and safety when they're on premises or at work. So this includes, let's say, policies about the health inspector, what to do when the health inspector is in the house, safe work habits. When you're handling a knife, what are your policies on that? Are they to wear, protective gloves? Are they wearing eye protections? Are they wearing, hats, hard hats? Anything along those lines. First aid, where are first aid kits located? How should they act if a fellow coworker is injured versus with a guest injured? I also like to include, if you're working in a restaurant that serves alcohol, also policies as far as the handling and serving of alcohol. Employee relations. Employee relations, it sounds kind of vague, but I like to talk about really anything related to the guest that's not position specific. So as a company, how do you treat it? So no social media use in pertaining to the guests' names, or we're not going to say, hey, Tom Cruise came last night and he had XYZ. Promotion policies, staff meals, paid vacation, time off, employee discount policies, anything along those lines. Now, the last category that I usually add in our employee handbook is leaving the company. What are our policies for when you leave the company? So you have resignation, layoff, terminations. What are grounds for immediate termination versus what are write-ups? How many write-ups can you get before it would be considered termination? Severance pay, exit interview if you're going to have one. All these policies should be set in place. Now, those are the 7 sections that I like to generally put in my employee handbooks. 2 things I would like to mention. One is the reason there's only 7 sections and they don't tend to go into a whole lot of details about, as a server, what are you responsible for? As a porter, what are you responsible for? As a chef, what are you responsible for? Is if you create an employee handbook that in detail describes each position, you end up with a very lengthy manual that is not pertinent to every staff member. Yes, it is important that each staff member understands their colleagues' work responsibilities so they can better work together, but not in the form of a 500-page long handbook. So I like to keep it separated. So you have company policies and the company handbook, employee handbook, and then a separate manual for each position that will cover pertinent information. We will go to that in a separate video, but for now, we'll stick with this. And I will be doing a series which will cover in detail what goes into an employee handbook. I will be going chapter by chapter, and at the end of it, I will give you guys a downloadable and editable blank employee handbook which you could follow. Please always remember, as with anything else that might contain policies or any legal jargons in there, please do get legal counsel. There's plenty of resources out there as far as assisting you with local laws, but once you're finished with the manual, I highly, highly recommend you having it checked out by a certified professional. You can usually find a labor attorney in your local area. Other resources you could use would be Zoom or some of these other online legal advisors. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you would, and I will catch you soon.